Hello and welcome to another episode on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. I mentioned it in the match preview. A visit to Turf Moor is never an easy task, but we managed to get the win. Our battle was not only with Burnley, but also with VAR and PGMOL, but we were still victorious. So let's discuss the key moments of the game. I'll then present my player ratings. And this is a calling show. So if you'd like to come on, the floor is yours. The link is available in the description and also pinned in the live chat. But before we begin reviewing the first half, let's briefly discuss the lineup before the game. So the Burnley one, slightly different from what I expected. Odobert was playing on the right wing and not on the left wing. Mike Trezor starts the game on the left wing for Burnley, and Foster was the strike partner for Amdouni up top. For Liverpool, slightly different lineup again with more players rotated, which looking back was a right call from the gaffer. Kwanzaa partners Van Dijk in the heart of defence, Gravenberch and Elliott start in midfield, and a nice surprise on the bench as Jota makes his long-awaited return. So let's discuss the first half. Burnley actually started the game very positively, but it was Liverpool who had the first shot on goal. Great play by Salah on the right. He passes to Gravenberch, who then backheels it to Elliott. Elliott drives with the ball, has a shot, saved by Trafford. Amdouni, moments later, has a great chance himself with a nice piece of skill, but hits it wide. And then, 5th minute, Liverpool open the scoreline. Nunez playing in the central striker role in this game. Gakpo lays it off from the left-hand side to Nunez, who places the ball, hits it with power into the bottom corner. Lovely finish from the Uruguayan striker there. And then the following minute, Liverpool on the attack again. This time it was Gravenberch running with the ball, hits the shot, not enough power to trouble the keeper. And then literally the following minute, Liverpool go again. This time it was Salah with a right-footed shot. Fantastic save by Trafford. Gakpo makes a run into the box, hits a left-footed volley, but his shot was wide and goes over the bar. For me, should have hit the target there. He had time and space to do so. Around the 11th minute, Brownhill almost equalizes with a shot from outside the box, just goes wide. As you can tell, I've only just spoken about the opening 10, 11 minutes, and the match was full of attack, and what an open game it was. 17th minute, Nunez attacks the right-hand channel. His fantastic cross inside the 6-yard box towards Gakpo. Unfortunately, Gakpo couldn't get the final touch in the end. And then 27th minute, Gakpo hits the back of the net with a thunder strike. VAR, up again, reviewing the incident, and they deemed it as no goal, as apparently Nunez fouls Charlie Taylor in the build-up. Now, for me, I think that was a soft call, as the foul wasn't really clear-cut. Nunez probably didn't see the player coming in, and there was hardly any contact on Charlie Taylor. For me, wrong decision again, and in my opinion, the goal should have stood. 33rd minute, Alisson hits a quick pass to Gakpo, who then lost the ball to Salah. He hits a half volley with power, smashes the crossbar. Unlucky from the Egyptian king there. 39th minute, good build-up play by Liverpool. Endo ends up having a shot on goal. Great save by Trafford again to parry it away for a corner. Gomez hits a shot from long distance, gets deflected for a corner. I'm telling you guys, he will get this goal this season. I feel like I'm on Joe Gomez watch right now, making sure he has enough chances to score a goal. But I feel like he's getting closer, so I'm still sticking to my prediction. He will break the deadlock this season. And then 41st minute, Salah has a shot from the right side again. Another great save from Trafford. Lovely play from Elliott, who seems to be having a great understanding with Salah on the right-hand side. Overall, an enjoyable first half with Liverpool on attack on numerous occasions. And for me, the scoreline should have been more than one goal, as we have plenty of chances to convert. But hopefully, we can build up on that performance and add some goals into the second half. So let's review the second half. Elliott, 54th minute, hits the back of the net. Lovely orchestrated move by the Reds, but the goal was ruled out by VAR due to an obstruction from Salah, who was apparently blocking the keeper's view. For me, absolute nonsense. Again, the defender in front of the keeper was in fact also blocking the keeper's vision. So let me paint the picture. If you took both players, so Salah and the defender, I think it was Bayer, out of the equation, the goalkeeper still wouldn't have saved that shot. as Trafford was moving towards his right side, and Elliott just caught him off guard or flat-footed with that snapshot into the bottom corner. So there was no way the keeper was going to save that shot. And to frame it as saying that Salah was blocking his viewpoint, for me, was just an excuse to rule out the goal. So disappointing one for Elliott, who for me deserved the goal after his fantastic performance in this game. In the second half, 65th minute, Burnley have a chance with Berger on the right side of the box. His shot is dragged wide. Gomez and Alisson not on the same page there before that chance. They were passing the ball to each other, gave it away for throwing. So those are the little cracks that we see, especially towards the latter stage of games. We need to make sure we don't concede possession with silly passes, as at that stage it was only 1-0, so it could have gone either way. 66th minute, triple substitution from Klopp. Elliott, Gakpo and Gravenberch off for Jones, Szoboszlai and Diaz. Burnley, around the 67th minute, had a fantastic chance to equalise. Odobert showing some quick feet, twisting and turning. Here's a fantastic cross towards the 6-yard box. Gudmundsson, who just came off the bench, wasn't able to convert. So at that stage, especially for like 5-10 minutes period, Burnley stepped up a gear, and I was praying Liverpool, react and get that second goal to ease off any pressure and make sure we get that 3 points in the end. 72nd minute, Liverpool almost get the second goal. Nice cross from Trent to Jones, who heads it back towards Szoboszlai onto the back post. Now, a tapping was required from the Hungarian midfielder, but he gets his contact all wrong, and it ends up being a clearance rather than a shot. So a misjudgment from the midfielder there. 81st minute, Endo starts a counter-attack with his pass to Szoboszlai. He drives with the ball, lines up a shot, but unfortunately goes high and wide. I don't mind those type of moments, to be fair. He's done that quite a few times in the last 2-3 games. I need to see more of that because he's more than capable of scoring from long distance, and that is definitely one of his skill sets. So some fans find it frustrating. I think it's a additional weapon to our armory because we're not a side that normally scores from outside the box. I think we're the highest scoring team this season. So we've added a different weapon into our squads right now. So I feel like if he can continue doing that, it would definitely benefit the team more than anything else. 83rd minute. Now this was a good sight to see. Jota makes his return, replacing Nunez onto the pitch. 85th minute. Trent hits a glorious left-footed volley from outside the box. Fortunately, the effort just goes wide. It had Trafford pedaling. I think if that was on target, it would certainly have been a goal. 86th minute. Gomez gets fouled. Referees play on, but then Liverpool lose the ball. Bruno Larson, who just came on as a sub, has a great shot with his right foot. Fortunately, he drags it wide for Burnley. But then moments later, Diaz is on attack. One-on-one with the keeper from the left side. Saved by Trafford again. I mentioned Trafford's name so many times. He was fantastic for Burnley in this fixture. And then the 90th minute, Liverpool find that crucial second goal. And it was Jota, the shotter. Lovely touch from Diaz with the back heel. And then Jota, good turn, left-footed strike, through the keeper's leg. Great finish from the attacker, who's literally just come on the pitch. And that's Jota's 50th goal for Liverpool. So a monumental moment for the attacker there. 93rd minute, Berger has a leaping header for Burnley, hits over the bar. And that was the last chance of the game for both teams. Overall, a good win for Liverpool. We played some fantastic football. Should have killed the game a long time ago, in my opinion. But credit to Burnley, who tried to play some decent football. And their young prodigy, Odobert, looks like a great talent. And that victory puts Liverpool at the top of the league. For now, we'll see how Arsenal's game pans out tomorrow and see where we stand after this match week. So that's my match analysis of the fixture. What I'll do now is I'll present a graphic for you guys and do my player ratings. As I mentioned earlier, it's a calling show, so if you'd like to come on, best time is to hit the link now, and I'll try and get you on shortly after my player rating. So let me present the graphics for you guys, and we can speak about each player in detail right now. So let's start with Alisson. For me, Alisson had a bit of a shaky game, to be fair. He looked not nervous, but he didn't look like his normal self when it came to distributing. Um, I don't know, seemed a bit edgy throughout the game as well. Wasn't as confident as he normally is on the ball. Gave the ball away quite a few times. I mentioned that moment earlier on with him and Joe Gomez. He did that quite a few times. Hit a lot of misplaced passes as well. In terms of shot stopping, he wasn't really challenged at all. I don't remember there being too many shots on target. So he had a quiet afternoon in terms of a shot stopping perspective. But yeah, in general, his goalkeeping was a bit shaky in my opinion. So I can't give him a very strong ranking for this one. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Joe Gomez, for me, had a good game. Very, very positive. Had a shaky first, I would say, opening half, but then did much better. I mentioned in the past, it's not my favorite position to see Joe Gomez playing at left back, but you have to give credit to the player. He's adapted very well. Even last week when he came on as a sub when Tsimikas got injured against Arsenal, took him a bit of time to get into that rhythm of playing that role. But in this game, he looked a lot more confident defensively and even driving with the ball and contributing in terms of providing width on the left-hand side and adding another body just to confuse the opposition. Obviously, because he's a right-footed player, he will tend to cut in with his crosses. But I don't see that being a huge deal breaker. As long as he's productive and efficient with the ball, I feel like he'll do a decent job there. And for me, Joe Gomez has been one of our, I would say, stand-up players this season, playing in different roles, played across the back four, and he's playing at a very good level as well. So that only goes down to him because he's showing the mentality that he doesn't need to start week in, week out, but whenever he's on the pitch, he's doing it for the team and he's putting his all. And that's what you want from a Liverpool player. So for me, it's encouraging to see how he's performing. Hopefully he stays fit, touch wood, nothing happens to him injury-wise. And he looks decent on that left side. So hopefully he continues to be more consistent. And yeah, hopefully he breaks that deadlock. I'm rooting for him. He's getting closer every week, playing fullback, whether it's on the left or the right, is allowing him to bomb forward a little bit more. I feel like he's always had a couple of shots each game in the last few weeks. So hopefully one of those chances are converted. And yeah, we'll be in good spirits but once he does break that deadlock. So in terms of his ranking, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Van Dijk, what a performance from him. Consistently man of the match, in my opinion, in terms of his level of performance. He's really stepped up this year. Last year was a bit up and down, but I feel like since that injury, he hasn't quite found that rhythm. This year, he's back to playing his best. I'm not saying he's that player from a few years ago because, as you all know, with age, you do tend to lose a bit of speed. You have to adapt your game, and I think he's done that phenomenally. So right now, with that captain armband as well, I feel like that's helped uplift his game. He's playing with authority. He's leading the back line very well. He's got an inexperienced defender alongside him in Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa, individually has done well this season, but looks more assured playing alongside such an accomplished player in Van Dijk. So for me, standout performance from him again. And for me, he's definitely the best defender in the Premier League. It goes without saying, Liverpool fans be saying it every year. But this year, he's actually showing why he's the best and why he has been the best over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So for me, in this game, he gets a 9 out of 10. Kwanzaa, for me, had a good game as well. There weren't really any pinpoint areas that I feel like I should have to highlight in terms of performance. Just a couple of moments in terms of positionally he needs to work on. And in terms of his ball playing ability, I feel like he's doing a decent job. Very calm, very composed whenever he's on the ball. And even when the opposition is pressing on him, he's not, panicking or just kicking the ball anywhere. He's very much calculated and assured in what he's doing. So a good, solid performance from him, and playing alongside Van Dijk is only going to improve his game even further as the years go on. So for me, a solid performance in this fixture. Wasn't really troubled at all by the opposition. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Trent, for me, had a bit more of a quieter game than normal, to be fair. I feel like defensively he was good, but from an attacking point of view, wasn't as involved as much as we would probably like. But I still feel like he had a good game. So whatever ranking I'm giving him, it's not because he had a poor game in comparison to other weeks. I just feel like he was less influential in this one. That left foot volley, if he had scored that, that would have been a fantastic goal. Good effort from him there. But no, a solid performance from Trent. So for Trent, I'm going to give him 7 out of 10. Let's go with Endo. Endo, for me, another solid performance. Klopp confirmed after the match that he will be participating in the Asian Games in January. So I'm not sure when he departs. Something I need to check. I think he's available for the next fixture, which is against Newcastle. And from there on, he will be on international duty. So he'll certainly be a miss, as he's been in great form in the last few weeks. There's a reason why we signed him. I know there's a lot of eyebrows raised when he was signed for the club, but I feel like with some players, it always takes them time to get used to playing for a big club and getting used to a different league and different way of playing. But the last few weeks, I feel like he's slowly embedded himself very well. You can see, I feel like in the earlier games, I wouldn't say the players didn't trust him. I don't want to sound too harsh, but there were moments where, for example, if Van Dijk had the ball, he would prefer to give it to a player in a more of a wider position or more of a difficult position rather than giving it to Endo, just because with Endo, we're not quite sure in terms of how he is on the pitch, in terms of ball playing ability. Whereas now, I think because he's shown such great confidence in recent weeks, you can see the players giving him the ball and he's laying passes where they're not going to be spectacular passes like a Thiago Alcantara type of ball, but he's playing the right balls, he's playing it with the right pace, and the advanced passes, or they're not just backwards and sideways. So, and sometimes I like it when he presses a bit more forward, adds more pressure to the opposition. So he's definitely doing well as a number 6 or as a destroyer, how we want to classify him in the team. So for me, a good performance from him today, or I should say yesterday. So it's 7.5 for me out of 10. Gravenberch for me did okay. I think he was a bit off the rails in this match. Misplaced a lot of passes. Decision making was not quite there. I think he dribbled a few moments where overplayed it a little bit, ended up getting tackled. So that's something he needs to work on a little bit more. So I can't rank him too high. I know he had a couple of shots, but nothing that was really going to trouble the keeper. Obviously, tries his best in terms of being more of a attacking threat from a deep midfield position. But in this one, I don't think he was as successful in terms of his passing rate and his dribbling as well. So for me, it'll be a slightly low ranking for this game. I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Harvey Elliott was someone that I was very impressed with, to be fair. I thought he looked energetic. I liked the way he was roaming in different areas. So he had a great understanding with Salah. So there were moments where they would interchange. So you've got Elliott on the right-hand side, and then you've got Salah dropping in more centrally. And I did that quite a few times. And then I think in terms of his ball playing ability, he's got a great first touch, and he just moves the ball around very quickly. With some players, they have a touch, and they got to think about where they're going to make that next pass. I think Elliott's like 1 or 2 steps ahead, where he's made that pass, but he's run and moved. So he's passing and moving, which is what you're taught when you're a youngster, I guess. But you've got to have the engine to match that way of playing as well. And I feel like he's definitely showcasing that. The more games he's playing today, in this game he started, and for me, he was very, very good in terms of how he performed. The goal, I'm not saying it because I'm a Liverpool fan. I think it was unfairly ruled out. It was a great goal, a worthy goal, and yeah, we're up against a battle with VAR and PGMOL as well. So yeah, frustrating for Elliott, but it doesn't, take any sort of cloud away in terms of how he performed. I thought he had a very solid game, so I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Up top, we can start with Salah. So Salah had that moment in the first half where he hit the crossbar, but in terms of his overall play, I don't think he was as involved as I would like to see Mo Salah. He was in and out of the game. Passing as well could be a bit more improved in terms of his through balls. I feel like it can be quite predictable in terms of how he'll sort of run on and then play that pass to the attacker. But I feel like he needs to show a bit more unpredictability where if he's got the ball on the right hand side, they're expecting him to pass. Essentially, why not just take on the fullback and see what you can do, because you've got the pace. I don't care what anyone says that he's slowed down. He still has the pace to beat most fullbacks in world football. So just feel like he needs to sort of change his game up a little bit and then play the passes that aren't the sort of like the expected passes. Try and be a bit more creative. But yeah, overall, I think he had a decent game. Not his best game, to be fair. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Nunez, for me, had a much better game in this one. Good to see him playing in a more central role. I actually quite like the fact that Gakpo was playing in his natural role and Nunez was playing in his natural role. In some games, they may need to be sort of interchanged just to confuse the opposition. But I feel like playing them in their natural position will obviously bring us rewards. And in the first goal, both players were involved. So Gakpo provided an assist for Nunez and beautifully placed goal into the bottom corner. Normally, Nunez would smash those and then it can probably end up over the bar, ends up hitting the crossbar. This one was a calculated finish, so it's clearly something I feel like he's working on the training ground. So long may it continue. One thing I do see with Nunez that he does create sort of like a half yard around the edge of the box. Should be taking on more shots. In recent weeks, I feel like he's been a bit hesitant to do so. So for me, I feel like definitely something he can work on, and he'll definitely create more chances or actually convert a lot more shots into goals as well. So for me, had a good performance in this fixture. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. And Gakpo, likewise, I think he had a good game as well. Obviously provided the assist. Scored a goal that got disallowed as well, which, yeah, another annoying moment there. Had another chance. We had a volley and it went over. Something I felt I was left-footed, but I feel like he could have done better there. So yeah, another player that should have been on score sheet, but we can't get too hung up on these sort of refereeing decisions because I feel like they're always against us, and I'm not just trying to sound like the victim or bringing out the violins in the background. I just feel like there are times where we get treated differently to other teams, and there will be examples of that when you watch other games. But in general, we have to take matters in our own hand and convert our chances. Once we do that, hopefully we don't have these officials controlling our games or controlling the outcome of our games. But in terms of Gakpo, good performance from him. Hopefully he can build on this performance into the next fixtures and show a bit more form as well. So for his ranking or rating in this game, I'm going to give him a 7.5. And in terms of my man of the match, as you can see, he's got the highest score. And goes to our captain again, Virgil van Dijk. So what I'll do now, I'll add the subs as well. Let me know what you guys think of my ratings of the players. Have I been generous or have I been harsh with some of them? Drop a comment and let me know. So let's bring on the subs. So we have Curtis Jones that came on for Gravenberg. Jones. And then we also had Subozlai coming on for Harvey Elliott. Oops. Subozlai for Harvey Elliott. Then you also have Gakpo coming off for Diaz. And then the final one, I think, was Nunez off for Jota. So let's start with the midfield. Curtis Jones, bit of a quiet cameo, in my opinion. Didn't really get involved as much as I would say, which is a shame because I feel like he does show. Last couple of games, he showed some good moments. In this game, I don't know. Maybe it was because we're playing so many games back to back. He didn't have that rhythm or that energy in this fixture. But yeah, it wasn't his best cameo, to say the least, in this season. So unfortunately, I can't give him a very high ranking. I thought he was actually below average. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. So Bosley was slightly better, not that much better, to be honest. Another player that I feel like may just need a bit of a rest. But he was rested in this one. So yeah, he had that one moment where he drove the ball, had a long shot. But in terms of his passing and touch, it's not quite there. The timing isn't quite there. With his first touch, he's normally a bit more quick on the ball. I feel like when he has his first touch now, he's attracting more pressure from the player, so it kind of slows his decision making a little bit, and then he ends up getting either blocked or tackled. So that's something he needs to try and find in terms of his rhythm again. So for this game, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And then Diaz, for me, had a better cameo in recent weeks, I would say. Definitely more effective on the ball. Had that one shot on the left-hand side where the Trafford made a save. In that moment, I feel like, I wouldn't say it was a clear-cut chance, it was an easy chance. But I think the finish he went for wasn't the right one because the keeper was so close in terms of his area, and then he only had a little space or target to aim for. Maybe he should have gone for the far corner, and that would have been a more of not an easy chance, but a bit more of a big an opening to convert that goal. When you've got such a small gap to try and fit in, it's very hard for you to score that goal unless you hit with real venom. But if he had placed it to the other corner with a bit more lift and a bit more power, then that would have definitely been a goal. So for me, yeah, a bit unlucky on that one. But he was involved in the goal, provided a back heel assist for Jota. So for me, I had a good game. So I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. And then Jota the Shota, for me, was a surprise that he was even on the bench. We knew he was doing light training, but I think they kept their cards close to their chest because we weren't really aware of his return date. So it was a nice surprise to see him on the bench. And this is why we missed Jota so much in recent weeks. This is what he brings to the table. He's not all about passing and link-up play. He's a gunman. He's there to convert the chances, and we need players like that, especially with our run-up games coming up. So yeah, good to see him back, and we win his probably first touch. Even the way he was driving the ball as well, very similar to how Curtis Jones scored his goal against West Ham, but he ended up passing to Diaz, back pass, and then through the legs as well. Similar finish, which was very, very good. So no, I think good play from Jota in the build-up for that goal. The finish was like for like Jones from the other day. And yeah, good to see him back on the score sheet. And nice headache for Klopp in terms of who to start, because Gakpo has picked up a bit of form, Nunez has picked up form, and now we've got Jota in the mix as well. And Diaz didn't do too bad himself. So good headache to have. Obviously, Salah goes to AFCON very soon. Not sure what the date is for that. So we've got options in terms of our attacking players there. So we should be covered, because I think he'll only be out for 2 or 3 games max in the Premier League, depending on how far Egypt progress. So no, for me, good performance. Might be slightly high in terms of the ranking. Maybe it's down to me seeing him back on the pitch and scoring so quickly. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. So that's my ranking for the players. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, as I can see, no callers backstage. That's a wrap up for today, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Next show will be tomorrow, as I do a Premier League match week 19 review at 10 p.m. UK time. I'll also be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Newcastle this Saturday at 10 p.m., which will actually be the last show of 2023. You can follow me on social media for all the latest updates. You can follow me at OzzieFTP on Twitter/X, and you can follow me at Ozzie.FTP on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I'll be releasing a short video that will certainly be debatable, so make sure to be on the lookout for it. Drop a comment with your views and opinion as well. As always, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.